There are moments in life when pain feels unbearable, when the weight of your trials makes you question if God has turned his face away from you. You pray, but heaven seems silent. You give, you serve, you forgive, and yet the storms keep coming. It's in those seasons that the enemy whispers, God is punishing you. But the truth, my friend, is far from that. God is not punishing you, He's preparing you. The pain you feel today is not a sign of divine anger, but a mark of divine attention. When God chooses to prepare a person for something great, He allows them to walk through experiences that shape, stretch, and strengthen their spirit beyond human understanding. Pain has always been God's greatest classroom. Every servant of God who ever carried greatness first walked through seasons of sorrow. Joseph was betrayed, imprisoned, and forgotten before he became a ruler. David was chased through caves and valleys before he wore the crown. Even Jesus, the Son of God, walked through the agony of Gethsemane before stepping into the glory of resurrection. Their pain was not punishment, it was preparation. The path to purpose always passes through the valley of pain, because only there does faith become real. You can't learn to trust God on the mountaintop. Trust is learned when you have nothing left but His promise. When God prepares you, He doesn't do it in comfort. He uses pressure. He allows people to misunderstand you, to reject you, to walk away from you, because He wants you to depend on Him and not on them. The things that break your heart are often the very things that build your strength. God doesn't remove the struggle because the struggle produces the strength necessary to carry the blessing. If He gave you the blessing too soon, it would crush you. But in His mercy, He lets you go through the furnace first, so that when the promotion comes, you are ready to handle it with humility and grace. Think about the potter and the clay. When the clay is first placed on the wheel, it's shapeless and ordinary. The potter presses, molds, and sometimes crushes it, not to destroy it, but to create something beautiful. The spinning wheel may make the clay dizzy, confused, wondering why everything around it is moving, but the potter's hands never leave it. That's how God works with us. The pressure you feel is not meant to destroy you. It's the touch of His hand shaping you for destiny. Even when life feels like it's spinning out of control, you are still in the center of His palm. Pain also has a way of revealing what comfort hides. When everything is easy, we can mistake comfort for faith. But when life hurts, when prayers go unanswered, when tears become our language, that's when the real test begins. God allows the pain to reveal the depth of your trust. He doesn't test your faith to grade it. He tests it to grow it. A muscle cannot grow without resistance, and faith cannot grow without trials. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every disappointment, none of it is wasted. God bottles your tears because each one has a purpose. Behind every ache is an assignment. Behind every burden is a blessing waiting to be birthed. There are times when we ask God, "Why me?" And He gently answers, "Because I can trust you with this." The pain you endure is evidence that God sees strength in you that you don't even see in yourself. He knows what He placed inside you, and He knows what it takes to bring it out. The seed must be buried before it can grow. The burial isn't the end, it's the beginning of transformation. So when life buries you under the soil of hardship, remember, you're not buried, you're planted. And in due season, you will rise stronger, deeper, and more fruitful than before. Sometimes God allows the storms to expose what cannot stand and to strengthen what will last forever. He strips away the false supports so that you can learn to stand on His word alone. He lets certain doors close so that you stop relying on your own plan and start seeking His purpose. What looks like rejection is often redirection. What feels like punishment is divine pruning. And pruning, though painful, always precedes fruitfulness. When God cuts something from your life, it's not because He's angry, it's because He's making room for something better. When you look at your situation and it doesn't make sense, that's when faith begins. God's ways are higher than ours. He sees the end from the beginning. You see pain, He sees preparation. You see loss, He sees launch. You see delay, He sees development. If He allowed it, then it must serve a purpose. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for good. Not just the good things, but the painful things too. The betrayal, the sickness, the loss, the loneliness. God can use it all to build a testimony that will strengthen others. What was meant to break you will one day become the very story that blesses multitudes. So don't curse the process. Don't run from the fire. Don't mistake silence for absence. God is working even when you can't feel Him. He's aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities behind the curtain of your life. You may not see it yet, but one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the very pain that made you cry was the same pain that made you strong. The same night that made you weep was the night God taught you how to worship. The same valley that made you fearful was where you learned that His rod and staff truly comfort. Pain will pass, but the purpose it produces will remain. God is not punishing you. He's pruning you, preparing you, and positioning you. The process may be painful, but the promise is certain. When a woman is in labor, the pain intensifies right before delivery. That's how it is in the spirit. The greater the pain, the closer you are to the promise. You're not being punished. You're being prepared for something that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and hearts have not imagined. If you can hold on through this season, you'll step into a harvest you won't have room to contain. God's preparation always comes before His promotion. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and trust that every struggle is a stepping stone. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are being prepared, refined, strengthened, and positioned for divine purpose. The potter is still at work, and when he's done, the vessel of your life will carry glory far beyond your imagination. When life slows down and prayers seem to go unanswered, it's easy to think that God has forgotten you. You look around and see others moving forward, new jobs, new homes, new blessings, while you're stuck in the same place, waiting for something to change. You start to wonder if maybe you did something wrong or if your faith isn't strong enough. But what if the delay is not a denial? What if it's divine development? God uses delays not to discourage you, but to develop you. Waiting seasons are never wasted when God is involved. They are the sacred spaces where He shapes your spirit, matures your faith, and prepares you to carry what He has promised. When you study the Word, you'll find that God rarely works on human timelines. Abraham waited 25 years for his promise to manifest. Joseph waited 13 years for his dream to become reality. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading a nation. Even Jesus waited 30 years before beginning his 3-year ministry. If the Son of God Himself waited, then surely our waiting has purpose. God uses time as a tool to build what cannot be built overnight: character, endurance, and trust. The delay is not meant to hurt you. It's meant to help you grow into the person capable of handling the blessing that's coming. In the delay, God works behind the scenes, orchestrating details you can't see. What looks like silence is actually strategy. You think nothing is happening, but heaven is busy aligning hearts, shifting circumstances, and preparing pathways. God is not only preparing the blessing for you, He's preparing you for the blessing. There are some doors that won't open until your heart is strong enough to walk through them with humility. There are some victories that won't come until your mind is renewed and your motives are purified. Sometimes God delays what you're praying for because He's protecting you from receiving it prematurely. A premature blessing can become a burden. But when God releases it in His timing, it becomes a reward. It's in the waiting that you learn how to truly depend on God. When everything moves quickly, we often forget who's in control. But when things slow down, when answers don't come and strength runs thin, that's when dependence becomes real. The waiting humbles the soul and purifies the heart. It strips away pride, fear, and impatience. It teaches you to walk by faith, not by sight. God allows the waiting because He knows that endurance produces depth. A faith that has never waited is a faith that has never grown roots. And when the winds of life blow, only rooted faith can stand. The delay is also God's way of testing what's truly in your heart. It's easy to praise Him when everything is going your way. But can you still praise Him when you see no progress? Can you still trust Him when the answer is not yet? The delay reveals your motives. Are you serving God for what He can give you or for who He is? Many people want the promise, but not the process. They want the harvest without the waiting, the crown without the cross. But God knows that the process is where we are purified and made ready for destiny. If you skip the process, you won't be strong enough to sustain the promise. In every delay, God is teaching you something. He teaches patience when you want speed. He teaches trust when you want control. He teaches surrender when you want certainty. And through it all, He's drawing you closer to His heart. The waiting season is not punishment, it's intimacy. God is saying, "Be still and know that I am God." He's reminding you that your timeline is not His. He's infinite, eternal, and wise. What you see as a delay, He sees as preparation for perfect timing. When the time is right, no force in hell can stop what He has planned for you. There's a story in nature that captures this truth. The Chinese bamboo tree is planted and watered like any other plant, but for the first 5 years, there's no visible growth above the ground. Imagine watering and tending to something for 5 years with no sign of life. But then, in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly shoots up, growing over 80 feet in just 6 weeks. The question is, did it grow in 6 weeks or in 5 years? The answer is both. During those 5 silent years, the roots were growing deep and strong enough to support rapid growth later. That's what God does in the waiting. He builds your roots before He reveals your fruit. The deeper the roots, the higher the growth. So, when you're in a season of delay, don't despise it, embrace it. Every day of waiting is a day of unseen progress. You're learning endurance, patience, and resilience. You're learning how to pray when nothing changes. You're learning how to worship without needing a reason. You're learning to trust the heart of God even when His hand seems still. The waiting refines your worship. It shifts your focus from results to relationship. You begin to realize that God is not just preparing something for you, He's preparing you for Himself. The ultimate goal of waiting is not just to receive an answer, but to become more like Christ. In the process, there will come a day when the waiting ends. The door will open, the promise will manifest, the prayer will be answered. And you'll understand why it took so long. You'll see that God wasn't late. He was right on time. You'll realize that if He had answered sooner, you would have missed the maturity you gained in the meantime. What felt like a delay was actually His mercy, holding back the blessing until you were ready to carry it without losing your faith. Until that day comes, keep your eyes on the promise giver, not the promise. Keep praying even when it feels repetitive. Keep serving even when no one notices. Keep believing even when hope feels small. Because while you're waiting, God is working. He never stops. His silence is not absence. It's a sign that He's moving pieces into place. The delay is not a sign that He's forgotten you. It's proof that He's forming something bigger than you can imagine. And when the breakthrough finally comes, it will come suddenly, beautifully, and powerfully. You'll realize that every second of waiting was worth it. You'll look back at your tears, your doubts, your nights of frustration, and you'll see how they were all part of His preparation. The delay built your endurance, deepened your faith, and anchored your heart in His will. So, if you're in that season right now, take heart. God hasn't abandoned you. He's not punishing you. He's preparing you through delay, developing you through time, and positioning you for divine destiny. The waiting is not wasted. It's working for your good. Before God elevates a person, He refines them. Before He brings them into their destiny, He tests what is in their heart. The refining always comes before the promotion. It's the spiritual law of preparation. Just as gold is refined in fire to remove its impurities, God allows us to walk through fiery seasons to burn away what cannot enter the next level. These moments of tough testing are not meant to destroy you, but to prove the strength of what He's placed inside you. When you pray for God to use you, you must also be willing for Him to refine you. because God will never promote what He has not purified. There is something sacred about the fire of refinement. Fire reveals. It exposes what's real and what's fake. You can't pretend your way through it. The person you truly are emerges when everything else is stripped away. In times of comfort, we can wear masks, say the right things, and appear strong. But when life turns up the heat, when friends betray you, finances collapse, doors close, and everything feels uncertain, that's when God reveals the gold hidden within you. The fire doesn't create the gold, it reveals it. It burns away the fear, the pride, the impatience, and the reliance on self. What's left after the fire is pure faith. Faith that can stand, faith that can lead, faith that can endure. Think about Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, dreams from God. But before those dreams came true, he had to endure betrayal, false accusation, and imprisonment. From the pit to the prison, Joseph's faith was tested and refined. Every trial prepared him for the palace. When he finally stood before Pharaoh, he wasn't just a dreamer anymore. He was a man molded by pain, shaped by fire, and grounded in humility. Without the refining, he wouldn't have been ready for the responsibility. God knew the palace required a pure heart, not a proud one. That's why He allowed the process. The fire turned the dream into destiny. The refining process is often lonely. It separates you from what's familiar, from the people and patterns that used to comfort you. God does this because where He's taking you, not everyone can go. Refinement requires isolation because it's in solitude that God deals with the heart. He strips away distractions so He can speak clearly. You may feel forgotten, overlooked, or abandoned, but you're actually being prepared. The silence of the refining season is not God's neglect, it's His protection. He's working on your character in private so that your promotion won't destroy you in public. Refinement also comes through pressure. Just as a diamond forms under intense heat and weight, spiritual strength develops when the pressure is great. You may feel crushed by circumstances, but remember this: pressure reveals purpose. Without pressure, the raw stone remains ordinary. Under pressure, it becomes priceless. That's what God is doing in your life. He's taking the ordinary and transforming it into extraordinary through the refining power of adversity. Every difficulty, every trial, every heartbreak is part of that divine shaping. God is not being cruel, He's being careful. He knows exactly how much heat and pressure you can handle, and He uses it to bring forth His glory in your life. It's easy to want the promotion without the purification, but in God's kingdom, that's not how it works. Before David wore the crown, he faced lions, bears, and giants. Before he led Israel, he served in obscurity. God used those seasons to build courage, humility, and faith. Each battle was refining his spirit for the throne. Had David skipped those trials, he wouldn't have had the strength to lead or the heart to worship through pain. God's refining is His mercy. It's His way of ensuring that when He blesses you, the blessing doesn't become your downfall. Many people pray for elevation, not realizing that the path upward always leads through the furnace. The refining is not optional. The higher the calling, the hotter the fire. If you want to carry more anointing, you must first endure more testing. God cannot pour His glory into a vessel full of impurities. He refines you because He plans to fill you. He burns away self so that His Spirit can flow freely through you. And though the fire hurts, the outcome is holy. You come out not bitter, but better, not weaker, but wiser, not broken, but beautifully rebuilt. Sometimes refinement looks like disappointment. The door you prayed for didn't open. The opportunity slipped away. The relationship ended. The dream seemed to die. You cry out, "Why, God?" But later, you realize that He was protecting you from what would have harmed you. The fire that burned your plans was preserving your purpose. Every time God says, "No," He's saying, "Not yet," or "Not this." Refinement means learning to trust His judgment more than your own desires. It means believing that His no is just as loving as His yes. When you see life from that perspective, even the fire becomes a blessing. Refinement also brings revelation. In the midst of the fire, you begin to see God differently. You discover that His presence is not limited to peaceful seasons. It's in the furnace that you often feel Him most near. Remember the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When they were thrown into the blazing fire, the king looked and saw not 3 men, but 4. The Son of God was with them in the fire. They came out unsinged, their faith stronger than ever. That's the promise for you. God doesn't always deliver you from the fire, but He always delivers you through it. The fire refines, but it does not consume, because God Himself stands with you in the flames. When the refining is complete, promotion follows naturally. You won't have to chase it, it will find you. Joseph didn't campaign for the palace. Pharaoh sent for him. David didn't beg for the crown. God's timing placed it on his head. The refining season ensures that when opportunity comes, you are ready to walk in it with grace, humility, and wisdom. You won't crumble under the weight of success because the fire has made you strong. You'll handle influence without arrogance, blessing without greed, and authority without pride. That's why the refining is necessary. It makes sure you can sustain what you've been praying for. So if you're walking through a season of testing, hold on. Don't fight the process. Don't despise the fire. God is not punishing you, He's purifying you. The heat you feel is the hand of a loving Father, not an angry judge. He's removing the things that limit your potential and refining your heart to reflect His glory. When the process is over, you'll shine like gold. You'll look back and realize that every trial was a tool in God's hand. Every tear was a drop of preparation, and every delay was an act of divine love. The refining may be painful, but it leads to promotion, and the glory waiting on the other side will far outweigh the heat of this moment. My dear brothers and sisters, if there's one truth that you must carry from this message, let it be this: God is not punishing you, He's preparing you. Every tear, every trial, every season of silence is shaping you for something greater than you can see. What feels like delay is divine design. What feels like loss is actually positioning. What feels like fire is refinement for future glory. God never wastes pain, He repurposes it. The very thing that broke you will one day become the testimony that blesses others. When you walk through pain, remember, it's not a sign that God has abandoned you. It's proof that He's still molding you, that He still sees purpose in you. He is a Father who prepares His children for victory, not a judge who seeks to destroy them. You may not understand everything now, but one day you will look back and say, if it had not been for that valley, I would have never known His strength. If it had not been for that delay, I would have never discovered His timing. If it had not been for that fire, I would have never reflected His glory. So hold on to your faith. Don't give up in the middle of preparation. What you're enduring today is producing endurance, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. You are being equipped for your divine assignment. The God who began this work in you will be faithful to complete it. The pain will pass, the night will end, and when it does, you will see that every hardship had a holy purpose. You'll realize that God was not punishing you. He was promoting you through preparation. And when your breakthrough comes, it will make sense. The waiting will be worth it. The tears will turn into triumph. The suffering will transform into strength. So stand firm. Trust the process. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep walking. Because your preparation today is the foundation of your victory tomorrow. Thank you, beloved, for listening with an open heart. May God remind you that even when you can't trace His hand, you can trust His heart. May He turn your pain into purpose, your trials into testimonies, and your waiting into worship. And may the peace of Christ, which passes all understanding, guard your heart and mind as you continue this journey of faith. God bless you, and thank you for allowing His word to speak into your spirit today.